was working on a hallway that I hadn't worked on before. There's something sinister in this room.
There was something in this facility that no one wanted to talk about, something that was not good. And as I walked towards where this crying was coming from, the feeling was worse and worse.
I get the sense that something's watching me. And I was horrified.
Something started manipulating the smoke every time I would exhale.
Is anyone here?
Yes! Now that felt ominous.
This entity is pacing back and forth. It was the scariest and the darkest thing that you could think about.
Keith, what's down there? I don't know.
I hadn't felt this scared in a long time.
What was that?
What am I gonna do? Am I gonna die?
With end-of-life care, the specter of death is never far away. For certified nurse aide Heather Hopper, the night shift at this old nursing home is both challenging and rewarding.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you then.
I was really happy. I enjoyed what I did. We had to feed clients and take care of their personal needs, and then also help nurses with anything that they need in regards to the patients.
Here you go. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
But something changes for Heather the night she's assigned to work on an unfamiliar floor of the old nursing home.
I was working one evening, and everything seemed to be fine. Taking care of my patients, going down a list of who needed what. I started noticing about an hour after I was there on my shift that the atmosphere was very thick. I was working on a hallway that I hadn't worked on before. These were unfamiliar patients. I go into this room, and I'm taking care of the patient.
June?
And she's just acting off.
Is everything okay tonight?
The patient was very agitated, nonverbal. She could sense that something was off in that room as well. She just couldn't communicate it to me.
I have to go finish my rounds, but I'll be back later. I promise.
Something was not right. So I go out of the room, take care of some other patients. I come back, and as I walk into the doorway, I see the curtain swaying. And that's about the time that I really get tense. At the same time that I had saw the curtain move, there was a shadow that had moved along the curtain. So I just froze.
June, did you get out of bed?
It dawns on me, no, that patient can't get out of bed, and she didn't fall because I could see if she fell. She didn't fall. Okay, what just moved the curtain?
June?
All I wanted to do was run away, but I couldn't. My heart started racing. I was just in that moment, just in an instant, was trying to figure out, is this real? I hear a baby cry. And I was startled, like, where is a baby crying at? There's no babies in that room. There was a doll sitting on the chair next to her nightstand. After I heard the baby cry, I immediately looked to the baby doll. Okay, does that baby doll have batteries in it? Like, did it just go off? So I slowly walk over to the doll. I pick it up and I feel it, and there's no mechanism in it to make it cry. And I just threw it down, because at that point, I'm realizing there's something sinister in this room. I had never experienced anything like I did that night. I did not go back into that room. I believe that night there was something evil, because the next day she passed away. I believe the shadow was death.
A few nights later, Heather finds herself back on the same floor.
As I'm working, someone has hit their call light, so I start going down to that room. I walk into the room and ask this gentleman, what can I get for you? What do you need?
What is it?
Fire! There's a fire!
He said, there's a fire at the end of my bed. There's a fire. And I was like, looked around.
There's no fire. You're safe. It's okay. There's no fire. It's okay.
I'm thinking, he's probably not had his medication.
There's a fire over there! It's burning!
I'm gonna get the nurse. She's gonna check on you, okay?
So I calm him down, take care of him, make sure he's safe, and I leave the room.
Hey, can you please talk to Glenn? He's being really weird and he's talking about a fire.
Glenn again? Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Thank you.
The nurse ended up going into that room. And a few moments later, she comes frantically down the hallway.
Heather? Heather, wait up.
Yes, ma'am?
Did you go into the bathroom?
No, is there something wrong?
She said, well, the water was running. And I was like, I didn't use the sink.
The tap was running and I turned it off. And you're not gonna believe this, but as I was leaving, the tap turned on again.
She told me. I turned around and the water started running in the sink after I turned it off. So I ran out of the room. And at that moment, I got the creepiest feeling come over me.
What is going on in that room?
Heather's strange experiences are only getting started for the night.
I ended up having to go back into that room.
Mr. Glenn, are you all right?
She's burning. Help her. Help my wife.
But your wife's not here. There's no fire. You're okay. You're okay.
As I'm standing at the end of his bed, I get this sense that something's watching me. I see a tall, dark figure. Has no face, and it's holding a scythe.
Please, God, please protect us. Please save us, God.
But I have no idea what to do at that point. Is that real?
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Something dark came to get that man,
For death, amen.
and I was horrified. This wasn't just a patient not acting normal because of maybe not taking medication or being tired. There's something in this room that's not human.
For sinners, now at the hour of our death, amen.
I look over my shoulder, and it was gone. I realize the patient's safe. He's been trying to tell me that there's something wrong, and I didn't believe him until I saw it for myself. A day or two later, he passed away. In nursing, when you deal with so much death, you understand that people die, and you sort of put a wall up. But remembering what had happened the night before and how evil it was made me realize that something dark came to get that man. I had never experienced the possibility of someone going to hell, me witnessing that, as dark as that night was.
After the horrific encounters at the nursing facility, Heather makes a shift to home care work. She is hired by an agency and is assigned to the care of an infirm widow at her home.
I began working for a company that would send you to take care of one patient. This particular patient lived in an old farmhouse, almost like what you would see in an old black and white movie. My responsibilities were to tend to her personal needs, help her dress, cook her meals.
Here you go, Miss Nellie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All over the living room was dozens of old pictures. The ones where no matter where you go in the room, the eyes follow you. It was very creepy. You just felt like these eyes were on you, like something was always watching you. It creeped me out so much that I wanted to take these photos off the wall. These eyes were watching me, following my every move.
Heather? Is everything okay, Miss Nellie?
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Clean this up and I'll get you a new one.
I was in the kitchen preparing her dinner. It was just this feeling of darkness, very sinister, very overwhelming, just constantly feeling like something is watching me. Anytime that I would look over my shoulder, this feeling would momentarily go away, like it was hiding from me. I was really scared at this point. It was there again, like it was just hovering over me, like this dark, black cloud of evil. Just get out now, and I couldn't.
There you are, Miss Nellie.
Ooh, looks yummy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
After she gets done eating, I take her dishes into the kitchen. And as I'm in the kitchen again, it feels like something is telling me, just get out. About 10, 11 o'clock, the patient tells me she wants to go to bed.
Okay. Let me help you up here.
So I help her walk to the bedroom,
All good?
Oh, thank you. Okay, let's go to bed.
get her nightgown on, and get into bed. So I go back into the living room. I sit in the same chair by the door. As I'm sitting in the chair, there appears to be a light flickering in the ceiling, but there's no ceiling light there. Nothing that could make the flickering happen. Then all of a sudden I can sense that there's something moving on the right side of me. Out of the corner of my left eye, I can see movement in the blackness of the TV. Whatever's going on, its reflection is appearing in the TV. So when I look to my right in the doorway to see what the movement is, this entity is pacing back and forth. It was the scariest and the darkest thing that you could think about. Like it's hovering over me saying, just get out, just get out. Just go. This entity is pacing back and forth, and I'm terrified.
Something is obviously trying to scare Heather, beginning with this field of evil that she's picking up on. The sighting of a reflection in a television screen would actually signify an intelligent haunting. The spirit knew that Heather's focus was on the screen and chose that opportunity to reveal itself in a very frightening manner.
And I go really fast into her bedroom and lay in the extra bed. And I'm laying there, and I start to get a sense that there's something pacing again. I'm like, oh gosh, not this again. Please, God, just make it stop. Just make it stop. The energy is just blood-curdling. Whatever entity is there is violent. It is horrific. It's angry. And I feel like it's just gonna blow up with anger and evil. And right before it does get to the point where it feels like it is going to blow, I suddenly start feeling that the whole room that I'm in is shaking. The walls are shaking. There's this loud roar. So I shove the blankets over my head and I just hide. The shaking goes on and the roar is terrifying. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna die? It was just getting louder and louder and just roaring, and while the whole room's shaking, like physically shaking. It was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. All of a sudden, it just stops. The roar stopped, the room stopped shaking. It's okay. Things got peaceful. I look over at my patient, she's still sleeping. In that moment, I'm like, how did she sleep through this? That I survived, whatever this was, and I can breathe. I just take a deep breath and I'm like, thank you, God. I firmly believe it was a message for me. The message was, you have no reason to be here. And later on, I found out who was telling me that message. It was her husband, who was a violent alcoholic. I had spoke to the daughter, and she started telling me the family history. He was so mean and so evil to his wife.
Here you go.
I see.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
So I believe that that was him that night. It was a moment of him reliving his physical days here on earth. I still to this day question like why it happened to me. Why did he target me? Maybe he knew being an empath, I would sense him. I did return to that home until I was moved to another case. I was worried for the patient. What if that happens to somebody else that leaves in the middle of the night because they're horrified? But I was thankful that I never had to relive that evilness ever again.
Keith Scott's just taken a new position at a hospital in Nebraska.
I was a licensed psychiatric technician, and I was working my way through college to become a counselor. I figured I could learn psychiatry and learn as much as I could possibly about it. We took care of the patients. We would make sure that they were doing okay with their medication, and we observed their behavior and get them ready for bed. My typical shift was a 12-hour shift, and I would work from 7 till 7 in the morning. Our units were locked units, and then we had the 7th floor. When you come on the unit, to the right was the juvenile unit, to the left was the adult unit, and to the far back there was another door that you had to go through, and that was the adult geriatric unit.
How's Mr. Lee doing?
You were right. I think his new medication's upsetting his stomach. Let me go get some fresh air.
Is that what you call smoking?
I'll quit in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with coworkers if we had patients in each area, one person for a juvenile, one person for adult, one person for geriatric psychiatric. So we were basically a unit that was close together, but there were doors dividing us. I picked up very quickly during my training there was something in this facility that no one wanted to talk about, something that was not good. That hospital had an elevator that had a mind of its own. It would just take me to the 6th floor for no reason at all.
Keith's night is about to take a strange turn.
Yeah?
I get a phone call that says that our psychiatric technicians left.
What do you mean she's gone?
Left where? To go where? Take a break? What happened? No, left. Gone.
Okay, I'm coming back up.
The person who left was a new hire that had been there for a few weeks. I trained her, and I thought she was ready to go, which she was, but there was just something that unnerved her that night.
No, I have no idea. I'll have it checked out.
I heard Jane quit.
You heard right. What's that noise?
My nurse was even standing there looking at me going, what is that noise? You could hear it. It was down the hallway, and you could hear the crying.
I just got a call from the maternity ward. They can hear it all the way from the 5th floor.
This is disturbing people down in maternity. Now, it's 2 floors below. It's a concrete building. There's no reason for this.
Can you find out what's going on?
Yeah, sure. I'll go check it out.
As Keith approaches the adult psychiatric wing, he's surprised to find evidence of his colleague's hasty retreat.
There's this gurney sitting there where the door's jammed open, as if this person that left felt that it was okay to just take off and make sure the door is open so the other nurses can hear what's going on.
What the?
So I go down there, and it was just spooky. It was a scary feeling. It got stronger and stronger as I got closer to the room, and it got louder and louder. And as I walked towards where this crying was coming from, it got colder, and the feeling was worse and worse. It was like a sobbing. It was a really loud, pervasive sound, though. I mean, crying in a room at a hospital doesn't carry throughout the entire unit. So I knew immediately something was really off. I knew from the charting, I knew from when I went on the unit that there shouldn't be anybody other than the two people that we had. I look around and the room's empty, and the bed's made, but the bed is not tightly made like you would have at a hospital. The covers were over the top of something. It looked like someone was sleeping. I could see the movements of this person. So I lean over and I look at the pillow, and I'm telling you, that pillow moved like this. And the crying moved with it. I hadn't felt this scared in a long time, but I have to manage it. I can't leave, I can't run out. I got down like this over the center of it, and I could hear the crying in both ears, but I can't see it. It needs something to, I don't know what it needs, but it sure is crying. We're gonna have to act like it's a patient.
I mean no harm. I bring no harm. I mean no harm. I bring no harm.
I tried to say some prayers, and I tried to say what I could.
I mean no harm.
The crying tapered off. I called down to maternity, and they said that it had stopped. They couldn't hear anything, so I said, I managed it, I took care of it. I had no idea if I did or not, but it had stopped.
What Keith's experiencing here is a residual haunting. It's a paranormal echo born of the events which took place in the room prior to the last occupant's death.
What did you write on the report?
Nothing happened, so there's nothing to report.
And the crying?
I don't know what I'm gonna write. I'll figure it out.
Fresh air?
Yeah, for sure.
Take a jacket. It's snowing again.
Keith finds this paranormal event disturbing. Yet, he's also strangely intrigued.
The elevator stopped on the 6th floor, and this time I thought, I'm gonna find out what's about this floor. The elevator seems to know this, seems to be something that knows. Would you like to come in and take a look around? Would you like to see what's going on? And when I opened that door, wow, that was a scary looking floor. It was really bad. Everything was just let go and abandoned, and the doors were shut, and nobody really mentioned it. So I went further down, and I didn't want anybody to smell my cigarette, or I didn't want to get in trouble, so I went all the way into the back, and I saw there was a chair. It seemed like a pretty good place. There was a lot of ventilation. Maybe I'll try smoking in here. I lit my cigarette, and the smoke started drifting up, and I could see it making shapes. I could see certain letters, certain things starting to form.
Hi?
Something started manipulating the smoke every time I would exhale, and then I realized there was really something there. The entire time I was down there smoking, I could feel different entities. It felt like they were communicating with me, but it also felt like a Ouija board. I didn't know if I was doing something wrong or what I was doing.
Is there someone here?
Yes. The realization for me was really strong. I might be able to really learn how to manage the patients, what's going on in our unit, and what the unknown is that no one wants to speak about.
What's your name? Al?
I heard something run down the hallway and then bang on a metal door. Is there a patient running around here? What's going on? I couldn't see anybody, so I took off.
A new psychiatric technician is hired. Keith is involved in her training.
Got it. So make sure you match it. Put it in here. All right, the medication is ready.
Follow me. Let's meet your patients.
We got a new employee to replace the one that was working there before. We were doing our normal duties.
Is it true what they say about this place?
What do they say?
You know, the 6th floor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And she started talking about the paranormal, and she's talking about spooky stuff. She's telling me I've been on ghost hunts. I'm a ghost professional.
I'm a bit of a ghost hunter, you know.
That's so.
So I thought, okay, she can handle this. Let's go ahead and take a break on the 6th floor.
Hey, check this out. Ask a question.
What do you mean?
What do you want to know?
Is anyone here? Whoa. What was that?
And it seemed like it was angry. Now that felt ominous. That felt really spooky. It ran down the hallway and bang!
Forget this. I'm out of here.
And you could see that she was getting scared because of this serious realization that this is an actual reality. The bang just triggered the whole thing off. It just tipped it, and she had to run. She was terrified.
Hey, are you okay?
No, no! What did I thought...
Steady your breathing. Steady your breathing.
Keith, what's down there?
I don't know.
I could see that she was starting to get really panicky. Her eyes were starting to dart. And she told me, I don't want to ever go on the 6th floor again. She just had a bad reaction to it like a normal person would have. Everything that I'd been experiencing came into the room, and every feeling, all of that hit me. I believe it hit her at the same time, too, and it was just overwhelming.
Keith develops a coping mechanism to deal with these strange events.
Every time I went on this unit, I made sure that I had said a cleansing prayer.
I mean no harm. I do no harm. I wish away all energies that are not mine to carry.
But the same can't be said for his coworkers.
Where's the rookie?
She quit.
Not again.
This came from admin?
Staff are not to discuss any events concerning the paranormal or spread rumors to that effect?
It was kind of a secret, more or less. They didn't want to say, well, the 6th floor is kind of strange, or we have issues, because you do not want to cause that problem or you'll lose employees.
Like a moth to a flame, Keith continues to take his smoke breaks on the 6th floor.
Hello?
I thought I had it under control. I thought I was managing this paranormal activity. Nothing had occurred for quite some time. It was rather quiet.
Anyone there? Hello?
I got a phone call, and they're saying, we've got somebody down here that's tripping and crazy. We need you to come down and take care of it right away.
Keith, can you take care of this? He's in the room down the hall. Careful. The aide says he's throwing things.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Room 11 has a patient in it that looks like he's been in a car accident or something. It's just a total mess with bandages and there's ventilators. I mean, every monitor you can imagine around this patient, and wow, critical, bad.
You can't help me!
I'm sorry, I think I have the wrong room.
So I asked her, I said, why did you call me about room 11 and this patient? Oh no, right over here in the day room, this guy is jumping up and down and freaking out and knocking lamps over in the waiting area. And I went and talked to him and calmed him down. Then we took him to the unit, to his room, which was not room 11.
Hey, what happened to the man in room 11?
What man?
Man, all bandaged up. It's in rough shape.
Keith, that room is empty.
I just saw him. Like, here, come on.
See? Empty.
That bed was made, that room was empty. I was, wow, wow. I saw that person. I know they were there.
I just saw him. It was all bandaged up. He looked like he'd been in a bad accident.
A car accident? I remember a patient like that from years ago.
And she said, you know, a few years ago, I believe, there was a patient that had tried to kill himself in a car accident, but he couldn't communicate that he wanted to do so. So he unhooked himself and managed to get the window open enough to get out and jump to his death.
We aren't supposed to talk about these things.
And she felt that was one of the entities on our unit. But don't talk about that publicly, she said, but that might be it.
The longer Keith works in mental health care, the more unusual experiences he continues to have. He's very open-minded. He accepts the possibility that he may be dealing with the paranormal on a regular basis. It's not going to stop him from doing his job. And the truth is that the more interested somebody is in the paranormal, the more interested it becomes in them in return.
I knew that this bandaged person needed something.
Go to the light that gives you freedom, makes you happy.
And so I said these prayers, and I said, I understand that you've had a horrible trauma, and you made a choice. I'm not faulting you for that. But what can I do for you? Can you move on to the light that feels good? I will be there for you. I will help you. The entities that I saw, I began to see them as patients. I began to see them that they're in crisis and that they're trying to communicate the best that they can. So let's do this, let's communicate. And maybe if we deal with it in the same way as a patient, as a person, we can manage it and take care of it over time and everyone can live together. So that became part of my job, knowing that the paranormal is part of being in a hospital.